This is a Chucky Beat production.
One of the most annoying things I find is the sound of the engine. When I first bought the car, I weren't as fussed about the engine. Obviously I knew the V8 M3 sounded a lot better. If you read any reviews or watched any videos on the internet, it's definitely one of the biggest complaints about the M3. The reason it's annoying is because if you go drive an M235i or an M2, it sounds a million times better. So like, why on earth have they managed to make the M235i sound so good and the M2 sound even better, but they can't even, you know, this is an M3, it should be the best sounding out of all of the cars. This is more like it's, you know, this is the legendary M3, you know what I mean? It should sound the best. I've been hopping in and out of so many different cars, and the GTS was the car that triggered it, to be honest. That car just sounded so epic. Like, yeah, it's a 120,000 plus car, but the simple fact is that engine is in the C63 if I'm right, and that's a car that's in comparison to this car. So after driving that car, forget about its looks, its price, its performance, the sound of that car was totally overwhelming. I didn't care about anything else apart from putting my foot down and letting off the throttle and letting it crackle and pop. That's all I cared about. So that car really does bring the inner kid out of you. So I mean, it's something that I'm even considering. Not going to be anytime soon, but I mean, I really want my car to sound like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that, you know, I want a C63, but don't underestimate just the sound of the car, because the sound is very important. Like, it's such a nice experience having a nice sound from the engine, not just the exhaust, the engine. When you're inside the cabin and you've got a beautiful sounding engine coming into the car. So, you know, the M3, when you're standing outside, the exhaust sounds really nice, but when you're inside the cabin with the windows up, it's not the most appetizing sound, and, you know, it's quite terrible in my opinion. Another thing I find annoying as well, related to noise again, on idle, the car sounds rattly. I don't know why it sounds so rattly. I actually thought there was a problem with the car. I actually rang up Motec Performance, didn't ring them. I sent them a message, and they told me, nah, chill Ricky, don't worry, all the M3s and M4s sound like a bag of nails on idle. So I'm like, what? Why does it, you know, like, why does it sound like that? So it's quite ridiculous that, you know, you're spending this kind of money on a car and your car sounds like a bag of nails on idle. Two things that probably annoy me about the car. Two things that you might want to watch out for. First problem I had with this car is I could hear like a real bad grind at the back wheel. So I actually took it in to get it checked from warranty. They fixed it temporarily. I read on the forums and apparently it's a common fault. It's like the brake cover, I think it's like the shield that covers the disc. It makes a really bad grinding sound, but since I took it to get the warranty work done, it's not been as bad. You know, before I was hearing it every couple of days, now I'm probably hearing it every couple of weeks, if that. Another thing that you want to watch out for as well, because this is a manual, don't know if this goes for the auto boxes, but when you're changing from first to second gear really fast, it makes a crunch sound, so like it won't go into second gear properly. But I'm talking about when you're changing gears really fast. You know, imagine your life depending on it and you're changing gears that fast. I mean, that's how that's when it crunches basically. If you're just having a little race, you know, mess about in that, first to second, it's fine. But I'm talking about when you're changing gears super fast. Remember, this is a problem for manual M3s maybe. I don't know, it could even just be my car, but that's the situation now. It's not been bothering me that bad. I haven't gone to BMW to, you know, sort of complain or tell them to fix it, but it's definitely something that I've noticed. Another thing I've noticed as well is under hard acceleration through first and second gear, you tend to hear like a creak from the back of the car. I'm not sure if it's the diff or I don't know, I'm not really too mechanical, but it sounds like, yeah, it sounds really creaky from the rear. Like, so hard acceleration at first, it just really creaks, and then you pull it into second, accelerate, creaks again, and then into third gear it creaks just a little bit and then it's totally gone. So I don't know what that problem is, but definitely something you probably want to get checked before buying your car. You know, it may not be with the dual clutch transmissions, this may be a problem just for manuals, but it's definitely something that I've noticed. So yeah, that's about it really. There's not really much else. You know, although those little things I mentioned, I do not regret one bit buying this M3. It's definitely, if I had the decision to buy another car, I'd probably buy the M3 again, to be honest. Probably just the competition pack one. Right, so here we are, guys. We're inside. So here we are, guys. We're inside the cabin, and just before I start the review, I've got a couple of confessions to make for you new subscribers, or even some of my already subscribers. So here we are, guys. We're inside the cabin. Right, so here we are, guys. We're inside the cabin, and just before we start the review, I've got a couple of confessions to make. Right, so here we are, guys. We're inside the cabin, and right, so guys, here we are. We're inside the cabin, and just before I start the review, for you new subscribers and you new viewers, I've got a couple of confessions to make to you guys, and that is that, and the first one being that. Right, so here we are, guys. We're inside the cabin. Right, so here we are, guys. We're inside the cabin, and
Yeah.